When people sing happy birthday to you, what are you supposed to do? I just admire the candles. I imagine putting them in my butt. This candle is made out of candle. Dancing flames soothe the anxiety of being the center of attention. I do what my funeral director coworker once told me when family members start crying. Find a crack in the wall and stare at it. Y'all sing happy birthday during a funeral? Not too high though. Perfectly splendid idea. My mother is a funeral director and she also did grief counseling. She did this at first, but later learned the families would actually be more comfortable if she didn't try to not cry. By cry I mean get teared up. If she didn't fight it, they often felt more comfortable. I know your comment was somewhat sarcasm, but I had to respond. No, because then I'll remember I fell into a well and died. You must look like Jim from The Office at the most inappropriate times. Pick the person you know the least and stare directly into their eyes until it's over. Don't forget to whisper the lyrics to yourself. This made me chuckle. Have an award. This is by far my favorite. Social anxiety has entered the chat. What do you do when you sing happy birthday to someone you hardly know and they stare directly at you the whole time while singing, while whispering the lyrics to him/herself a second behind the song? Dad, why are you staring at me like that? Reenact your birth through interpretive dance. I'm getting strong Gina Linetti vibes from this one. And if you have a lot of time on your hands, you can start all the way from conception. I shit you not, this is one of the funniest things I have ever read on Reddit. The middle school I went to did this. Whenever it was someone's birthday, we'd all sit in a circle and the birthday person would curl up into fetal position in the middle. As the song progressed, so did the interpretive birth dance. Using your mom as a prop. Headbang, that way they have to sing it louder and heavier, making everyone feel awkward. Yell, let's get this fucking circle pit going. Just getting louder and louder and louder. And then they break out the drums. Happy birthday to yo, happy birthday to yo, happy birthday motherfucker, happy birthday to yo. Headbang into the cake and then roll on the floor like you are having a seizure. While air guitaring. Tell them your birthday is tomorrow. I will remember to do this next time. My mom got my sister's birthday wrong, and when I told her, she told me not to tell anyone. My sister is 4. Or yesterday. Conduct the choir with your hands. Did this with a fork when I was 6, best decision of my life. It is super cheesy, but that is in fact what I've done for the vast majority of my life. I need to do something and I've yet to come up with anything better. My grandma used to do this and I loved it. How have I never thought of this? The last time this was asked, I read about conducting and I have loved doing it twice since then. It actually picks up the spirits of everyone singing because it shows you are into it and makes it a better experience for everyone. I really encourage people to try it. Please note that happy birthday is in 3/4 time. How embarrassing if you enthusiastically began a 4/4 pattern. Horror. Can't wait for the next year to do this. End it with 5-minute sax solo. Epic sax guy is always an appropriate answer. Careless whisper or who can it be now? I always do sax solo. Oh wait, you're talking about music? 5 minutes is a long ass time on sax. Something smooth and sexualistical like. Stutter while saying you too. Getting an Uber to the airport driver, have a good flight. Me, thanks, you too, still haunts me to this day. I'll try this out on my next birthday just to see their reactions. Just stand there and feel really awkward. I do that well. Stare at the cake. Edit, extra points for being extra creepy. Edit 2, the flames take you back to when you were 5 and your house burned down. LMFAO, I used to sing with them. But you have to make sure that you do not make weird faces, because depending on the amount of aunties or drunk friends you have that have cameras at the ready, those faces you make will be immortalized. I pick someone I don't know and unblinkingly stare into their eyes, emotionless. Then, when it is over, I go back to laughing and having a good time. This works especially well if a restaurant finds out it is your birthday, and the staff sings to you. Because you know it hurts them too. So just do what I normally do in any other situation. That awkward slow clapping and swaying as they're singing. Idk. Is it just me? That is what I wanted to say. So right. Alternatively, sit down while everyone around you is standing and feel twice as awkward. Just smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. Alternatively, stand up straight. Blank face. Stare them deeply in the eyes. And make them feel your judgment without moving a muscle. Skipper? Don't you think we should tell them that the boat's out of gas? Instructions unclear. My family now celebrating my birthday without me. Kaboom. Friends and family, happy birthday to you. Me, to me, friends and family, happy birthday to you. Me, to me, friends and family, happy birthday, dear my name. Me in a whisper, that's me. Friends and family, happy birthday. To, yo, I bow. That's me, he who is not me. This is adorable. Haha. This. I am doing this from now on. Okay, that's adorable. Kinda wholesome. This is oddly cute. Beautiful. Magnificent performance. Deaf people of Reddit, what is the equivalent of having a song stuck in your head? Deaf person here, it's honestly pretty similar. Rhythms, tapping your foot, etc. Not sure about other people's experiences, but I usually have a static sort of sound replaying in my head. Are you born dead? How do you know what a static sort of sound is? Did the tinnitus bother you? I was born with tinnitus, so I always need to have some sort of white sound, otherwise I get very uncomfortable. In quiet places it sounds like someone screaming into my ears from a couple feet away. I'd imagine that would have been a similar experience to you. Continue this thread. Noah replies. I asked my completely deaf best friend this and she said, the rhythm of the bass in my car, or pictures of things I enjoy. Especially shows I watched as a kid, I can remember probably every scene. After a few more texts I added the songs she talked about to my playlist so I could turn them on while in my car together. I never really thought of the bass and things until now. Tell her to get a JBL Charge 4, it is a speaker with bouncing side thingies with the bass and I'm sure she'd think it is pretty cool. That's very thoughtful of you. The Grateful Dead used to have a deaf section at their shows where they would hold balloons which would pick up the bass. So the bass would go through their feet and hand. And they would have people sign the lyrics for the section. 4 always thought this was a pretty cool thing to do. What's her favorite songs? Lol, a lot of Queen stuff like Another One Bites the Dust or Under Pressure comes to mind, but I might be way off. Small children yerk me be bumpin'. My deaf brother-in-law had his stereo stolen from his car. He made fit an amazing system. He was showing it off to me and I said let's swap, yours doesn't feel like this. Spins the dial in full blast. Smiled his ass off. Noah replies. Deaf person here, I will have certain TV show intros or commercials repeatedly play over and over in my head. Mostly stuff that I used to see regularly, such as the Pardon Our Dust commercial tune I aired when I was in middle school/high school, or the intro to Gargoyles, X-Files, Dragon Ball Z, just to give a few examples. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. We're not too far off. I constantly have commercial jingles stuck in my head. Man, where is Tunamai now? Whoa, I bet video montages and opening themes seem so bizarre if you have never heard sound. Like asterisk, the whole show follows a logical timeline of events that make sense, but the show starts with like 60 seconds of random cutaways, close-up, and clips from episodes past. Weird star. Love Gargoyles. You've good taste, my friend. Dumb question, but can deaf people heat themselves? I mean inner voice? I know they can't hear others, but the voice you make comes from inside you, so can you hear it? After these messages. We'll be right back, Noah replies. I've been deaf since I was 2. I always get clips of people dancing stuck in my head, like the Carlton dance from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or dancing in the fountain from the Friends theme song. If I had to have a dance stuck in my head, I think I would pick the Carlton. God damn, even deaf people get the Friends intro stuck in their heads. That shit is diabolical. If you were deaf since you were 2, obviously you don't remember not being deaf, but do you remember how some things sound? Do you remember the sensation of sound? Sorry if it is a rude question, I am just curious. It is not unusual. Yes. Thanks for the answer. I have a follow-up question too. If a song is stuck in my head, let's say the Friends theme song, I need to listen to a different song in order to keep my sanity. What would you do to forget Carlton's dance? Mind gifts. Was Fortnite hard for you? Tam, not deaf and I still do this, Noah replies. Laughing at a meme 7 hours after you saw it. LOL, I do that all the time and I can hear. Yep, but is it the same 3 or 4 words repeated indefinitely? Today I learned I'm deaf. Laughing at the meme that had sound. I asked my deaf uncle what his conscience consisted of since he's never heard a spoken word. I wondered if it was just an image of his hands signing. I was right. That's certifiably mind-blowing. Yeah, that's totally a thing. Deaf people with schizophrenia will hallucinate sign language too. I asked my aunt, who was born blind, complete black, no light, nothing, what her mind brought out when she pictured something she knew in her mind. My mind was blown. It was the emotions she felt touching it. She calls sensation of touch an emotion, as it is more spiritual to her than just kinda bumpy, the sense, and surprisingly how it would block the heat of the sun if she held it up. How would you describe your consciousness to a deaf person? Fascinating. Some people don't think in words at all. They have no inner monologue, just feelings. Conversely, some people cannot think in pictures. The human brain is wild. I heard at some point that speech jammers work because outconscious thought is derived from our mind preparing to speak, in a kind of rehearsal kind of way. Then when we talk, our brain matches our voice to our thoughts, preventing confusion, but having the two out of sync throws us off. With this theory in mind, it would make sense for deaf people's thoughts to be a rehearsal of how to say things, that being sign language. I've learned that bilingual people store their memories in one language. So if a person spoke both English and Spanish but stores memories in English, they would store a Spanish-speaking memory in English. It makes sense that someone who speaks ASL would store their memories or consciousness in ASL. It about others, but I can feel vibrations. Yes, I'm tough, get jealous bitches, which is how I listen to music. I usually listen to New Orleans jazz or rock because I can feel the beat and vibrations the most. There are also heavy bass systems on my speakers in my car and on my Bluetooth, so I can feel it better. It is nice. Just be nice when people have their bass up higher, you never know if they have perfect hearing. A fun song to get a rhythmic bass drum massage from is Meshuggah Bleed. Yes, I'm tough, get jealous bitches. Did they hire a giant man to portray you in your biopic? The vibration/tough thing just made me realize that I can subconsciously do the same. Since I never had an alarm, I would always wake up before it whenever I could feel someone walking down the hallway next to my room. That shit would wake me up 99%. Better than any normal alarm. Just a random link for you, but I absolutely love feeling the vibrations from this song with a good subwoofer, Smashing Pumpkins, in the arms of sleep. In your defense, most people with excellent bass systems in their car have terrible hearing. Wait, so you're blind too? Continue this thread or replies. I'm not deaf, but I had a lot of deaf friends when I lived in Austin. Deaf people still listen to music, they just do it differently than you and I. All my deaf friends had amazing bass systems in their cars. They tend to feel it in their chest. Hip-hop and classical are usually popular for people who are deaf. My mother had a deaf friend when I was a kid. 1960s to 70s, the friend would put a speaker face down on the floor and turn the sound up, and so she could feel the beat and would dance to it that way. My mom was a sign language interpreter when I was a kid, so I grew up around a lot of deaf folks. One time I was at an Easter camp they were doing for the kids, so I got to go and tag along with some of the non-deaf siblings of the deaf kids there. On one of the days they brought in a percussionist to play different stuff, and nearly everyone was just vibing in time to the beats. It blew my mind, and it actually went on to be a huge part of my college thesis or replies. Actual deaf here, any clear voice that I connected to a word, would be stuck playing in my head. Like Pink's na so what and so what? Music video, or actual deaf performers such as Rosalie Tim, she sing in ASL that have so much of rhythm movement, cannot help but keep seeing and hearing it in my head. Another that could stuck playing in my head is gifs of specific dance or movement. I'm very intrigued by the idea of singing in sign language. I never would have considered such a thing. From the sounds of it, this is different from translating songs to sign language. Wait, so if you're deaf, how do you hear a clear voice in a song? Continue this thread. Noah replies.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.